A member of the Israeli Knesset has been forcibly removed from the podium after referring to genocide taking place in Gaza. During a plenary session, Ofer Cassif quoted author David Grossman's comments about no longer being able to avoid using the word genocide after seeing images from Gaza. Fellow members protested before Cassif was pulled away and forced to stop his address. Let's bring in Huda Abdul Hamid. She joins us from Amman in Jordan. She's there because the Israeli government has banned Al Jazeera from reporting inside Israel and the occupied West Bank. So, Huda, before we get to that story, let's start first with a lot of talk about an Israeli security cabinet meeting today. What are we expecting them to discuss?
Well, certainly there's a lot of anticipation in Israel ahead of this war cabinet meeting, which should happen in the next few hours. Now, what we're expecting to happen is that the Prime Minister will give new orders as to in which direction the next stage of this war will take. Now, if there have been leaks in the Israeli media since Monday evening, especially in the pro-government media, indicating that a full occupation of Gaza is on the table. Now, it has to be said that this morning, the Defense Minister, Israel Katz, was in Gaza talking to Israeli troops there, and he said, and I'm quoting, that the army will professionally implement any policies taken by the political echelon. He didn't go into details. But it has to be also said that there's been some frustration within the military for the lack of vision. The chief of staff is said to actually not be on board for a full occupation of Gaza. He is more for segmenting the strip even further and carrying out pinpoint attacks against what he says are Hamas weapon caches or Hamas members. He says that a full-out occupation does actually put the life of the remaining captives into further danger. The response to that, according to Israeli media, was quoting a senior member of Netanyahu's office saying, well, if he's not happy with what decision will take, then he can resign.
And Huda, take us through that drama mentioned a moment ago in the Knesset over the use of the word genocide.
Yes, there was a use of the word genocide, as you mentioned, by an MK, Ofer Cassif. Now, he was merely quoting what the internationally acclaimed author David Grossman had said, and that quote was that David Grossman said that he was very reluctant to use the word genocide, but after seeing the images and after listening to people who have been on the ground in Gaza, he came to the conclusion that Israel is indeed carrying out a genocide. But it is a very sensitive issue, especially in a Knesset that is dominated by the right and the far right, who are very sensitive to this word, who are, many of them, supporting a full occupation of Gaza and actually building settlements in Gaza. But, you know, it also indicates that cracks are beginning to appear within the Israeli society that had backed, by and large, the vast majority, any military operation in Gaza. Now you do hear from people voicing their opposition, saying that after 22 months, they don't know what actually has been achieved since Hamas has not been completely defeated, and the total victory that Netanyahu has been promising did not happen so far. Just yesterday, 600 former senior members of the Mossad, the Shin Bet, the military, the police, have actually written a letter and published it denouncing the military operation in Gaza and saying that at this stage it's not defensive anymore and actually does harm Israel more than anything else.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much, Huda Abdul Hamid from Amman in Jordan.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.